Hello guys, this is Quardox, thanks for tuning in. Today we'll be talking about the new released Star Wars trailer that I'm sure you have seen by now. My first impressions after seeing it for the first time, even though it was rendered on PS4 in 60 FPS, was just wow. The graphics look amazing, the sound is exactly what I wanted, and the detail and fidelity they put in is just amazing. And what I was hoping for from the start, I actually wanted to make a video straight after the trailer was released, but within the 24 hours I thought there will be a lot of talk, so I waited and basically was listening and hearing what people were saying on Facebook, Twitter and on Reddit, and that's where my sources are. The impressions I got from it is that everybody is quite impressed with the graphics and the flair and the atmosphere of the game, the whole Star Wars ambience and everything from the little Ewok structures on the trees that make it even more lovely. We also got some of the vehicles, the speeder, the AT-STs in action and even the big AT-ATs that get destroyed rather quickly by a Y-Wing bomber. Could this game be the next greatest game? Does it have the potential? Surely yes, but as an objective gamer I want to point out some stuff before concluding my personal opinion. I think I start by pointing out that some YouTubers with a much larger audience than mine were invited by DICE to actually see the first live in-game footage. It won't be long until everyone else gets to see it, but what I've learned from listening to the guys was that it was probably one of the missions which are designed to be rather linear and lead up to an epic boss battle at the end. A cool idea was my first thought, but after thinking about it for a while I was rather disappointed with the idea. Sure, it can be fun to play with friends online or co-op on a split screen on a console, but on the other hand, for people that are used to a great single player campaign from Call of Duty to Battlefield to epic stories like we had in Skyrim, and I'm not pulling things out of the air here. I like the universe, I like Star Wars, I love it, and especially the Star Wars universe would lend itself quite well for an epic single player campaign. Just imagine having these stunning visuals with great dialogue, interesting characters, intertwining story arcs from land to space throughout the galaxy. Could have been so epic, but no, they decided to make it, as the dive devs put it. I would say these missions occupy that space where you play alone, General Manager of DICE, Patrick Bach said. Or you can play co-op, split screen or on the internet. The game is first and foremost a multiplayer game. Battlefront was a multiplayer game. That's the game we wanted to create, to recreate the battles of the original trilogy. Or as I would call it after seeing the debacle with Battlefield Hardline, just another Battlefield reskin maybe? Not quite really, and all joking aside, the first game that springs to mind when you mention a shooter with no single player campaign are the likes of Brink, Titanfall and Evolve, and none of which are terribly beloved. So with even less features than what we've seen in other games. In the trailer there is barely any unique and new ideas we haven't seen before. Nothing that made me go, what? I gotta say, it's just standard infantry combat in a different setting. It's the same premise as Battlefield when you look at it objectively. Infantry combat in maps that are a bit open and may have a few routes around them, combined with small vehicle battles on land and air. We may have water in some levels, but that is not confirmed in Star Wars at this time. But to come back to the missions that basically replace the single player completely, there is some cool stuff in it. You can look forward to. It seems there will be even indoor environments, and in the case of the demo they saw, there was a boss at the end of the mission. On the map they got to see they entered like a bunker structure from the forest environment, similar to what we see in episode 6, and in there they got to see the first glimpse of Darth Vader, which is likely the level boss. I would also be very interested in how those battles actually tangle in with the whole everything is canon concept. We know that everything that comes out from this point forward is in the Star Wars canon. So with that being said, I want to bring your attention back to a few other things I want to point out in this video. And it was rumored before the actual trailer was shown that there might be battles that carry over from the planet surface into a bigger scale battle up to the galaxy, to the planet's atmosphere, and may even be in space. And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here, but it has been confirmed that in this game there will be no space battles, so that's too bad. Maybe in a separate Star Wars title, but not in this installment of the Battlefront series. Next thing I want to talk about is the 4 maps that are confirmed. Yeah, it's just 4 maps, of course not including the first DLC map that is already confirmed. So why not including in the first place? Doesn't matter. The 5th map is called Battle of Jakku, but for starters we got 4 planets: Tatooine, Hoth, Endor and Solust, or Celeste, I don't know how to pronounce it. We will have a minimum of 3+ maps on each planet, so I don't know 100% what to think of that at the moment. Let's move on to the player count that is confirmed, and the limit is set to 40 players per battle, so it's basically 20 versus 20, and also what we are used to from 32 player servers from Battlefield or similar war games. With that small player count you might think, but then the Levolution and destruction environment will be massive, and yet we will have to fasten our seatbelts again, because there will be almost no destruction in Star Wars Battlefront. To say it more specifically, once again, no environmental destruction. An airstrike on an AT&T will surely look epic, but when you blast a tree with a big laser of an AT-AT cannon and it still stands there, it's just immersion breaking for me, and not quite what I honestly expect from a game that likes to praise itself by pointing out in every possible way that it is next gen only. Have I mentioned yet that the AT-ATs will probably be on rails, or at least not player controllable as well? For me, guys, this whole next gen thing becomes more and more a disappointment. From launch failures like in Mortal Kombat X, it was patched quickly, but it was a launch failure nonetheless, to actual in-game features that are missing, like in Battlefield Hardline, where they had the same destruction problem. And this game was in development, I think, around the same time than Star Wars Battlefront, the same amount of development time. So I personally don't get too excited when I hear next gen. More often than not, it's just a marketing strategy, basically to lure the audience in. And even though YouTube is such a massive platform where you can find everything critical, every comment you really need to hear before buying the game, many people will just buy it anyway. And I think it's just a shame, honestly, how big corporations use that phrase to just grab your money. And I highly recommend you guys that you wait until we know a little bit more about the game. But for all you rich kids out there, please don't forget to pre-order now. Do it, come on, click that button. EA really needs your 60 bucks, so buy it on Xbox, then you can play even earlier. And thanks to the Microsoft big budget, you can have level 10 before everyone else. And if you buy the pre-order now, you can even play the new map 1 week early. Isn't that awesome, guys? So invest in this collector's edition and you will be the first to be level 10, and then, I don't know, you can tell your parents or whatever. And I gotta stop here. To recap the first game trailer, in an honest objective opinion, they had beautiful graphics, stable 60 FPS gameplay, great animations, great character models, immersive environment, a gorgeous sound design, as in all the DICE games, and cool things like the ATST, the AT-AT, Y-Wing bombers, epic dogfights in canyons, and the overall universe feel we grew up with and really learned to love over the years. And I'm also urging you to watch the new Star Wars 7 trailer, because it is freaking amazing. J.J. Abrams did just an amazing job with this movie again. From Star Trek to Star Wars, he's just awesome. And for instance, the downed Star Destroyer that you can see in the movie trailer, we actually get to see in-game how this comes to be and what events unfold that actually lead to this Star Destroyer going down and crashing into the surface. And I personally can't wait to play it. to see the movie, and after almost a century of waiting, we can all say,
Chewie, we're home.
With that being said, guys, I'm really a big Star Wars fan. You can expect a lot more Star Wars content when the game comes out, and when we got news I will put out videos as well. For now I'm critical, looking at it with a critical eye, but I'm excited nonetheless, and I will be one of the first guys that actually goes into the cinema to see the movie. So until next time, thank you very much for watching. I'm Quardox, AGV, out.